How's it going, guys? It's RaiderKnight, and today I'm going to be playing as the United States in the Red Dawn scenario that I created. And Red Dawn is a movie, so obviously this scenario is not like historically accurate, but it is a fun scenario because it is, kind of a movie. And at the start, we don't start out with war because I thought that if it started out with war right off the bat, we wouldn't really be able to prepare our armies on either side. So I kind of wanted it to be just a, very high or very low opinion. So war will still start pretty early or whenever I want to start it. I'll probably start it on turn 5 just because I want to have a small little army ready first. But we're going to defend our major cities from Mexico. I think Mexico is going to be our main threat, believe it or not. I don't think the Soviets are going to be that tough to beat because the Soviets are currently dealing with China as well. Because in the movie, the Soviets fight China, the UK, and the USA, and Canada. The rest of Europe sits out during the war, so that is why the USA fights alone, pretty much, with just a couple of small allies overseas. But pretty much what we're going to have to do to win this scenario is we're going to have to increase our income tax because we're not making enough money. I think we're going to max that out. Research I'll put at 5. We don't really need it that much. And military upkeep, we'll have that at a 10. Economic growth, we're going to have this at a maxed number, I think. And then we're going to max this out as well. And then we'll put all the rest into income production. So I think this looks fine, and then we can hit next turn. After it processes all the countries, I think. And then we have to raise our taxes so we can make even more money. Our goods, I think we have a little bit too much in goods right now. I don't know why we have so much, but I lowered that a little bit, and I'm raising investments just a little bit because I do like investing in our provinces and stuff. So, also, I didn't mention this, but the entire scenario is not completed yet. I still have Ecuador here, and I still have, all this, but I don't have all of Africa, and I don't have all of South America. So, there is some in this scenario that is not completed, but for the most part, it's looking pretty good. I also made another movie scenario. I made the day after tomorrow scenario, so I'm still working on that as well. I still have to finish up the countries, but it's looking really good as well. I played it for a little bit, and it's also kind of fun to play the scenario day after tomorrow, but I don't know. It's going to take a while for me to finish that one up because I still have to add all the... Whoa, I just went all the way across the map. I still have to add all the African countries, and I still have to add South America, so I'm going to work on that, and I'll probably finish that one up pretty soon as well. But this Red Dawn one, I mean, it's playable. I guess I don't have it completed yet, but it is playable. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a massive border, as I mentioned, with Mexico. And we're going to attack on turn 5 no matter what, just because I want it to be kind of accurate. So we're also going to have a military up here in Alaska because we only have one province up here, I'm pretty sure, and I don't want to lose it. And then we're going to also have troops here in Seattle, have some here in Nebraska because I don't want them to continue to expand out east. So we're going to try to block them off from expanding in this direction. And I also don't want Canada to take our land, so we need to be ready. And it is turn 4. So this is the final turn I'll be able to actually do stuff before attacking. So I'm going to build as much as I can across this border, wherever I can at least, and hope for the best. I'm kind of just going to do whatever. I think, whatever works, I guess. But it'd be nice if we can get a good troop count across this whole border. But I don't think it's going to happen. It might. I think it will, actually. Just barely, we have enough to get across this whole border. We're also going to put some in here because I think this is also connected to this. So what we're looking at is we're looking at our battle strategy. I think it looks pretty good. Next turn, and then we can declare the war. I'm pretty sure they're all in an alliance, yeah. So, declare war on the Russians. Obviously, we call in all of our allies, and we can call in all their allies as well, I guess. Actually, let's not. They're gonna join the war anyway. I don't need to click all of it. Declare war on the Soviets. Okay. Then our first order of business is going to be to build extra troops in Alaska because I don't want to lose this. We're going to send these troops to the south of Alaska, and they're going to help us take that back. These troops here in Seattle, they're going to help us retake the land in Washington, and we're going to hopefully retake the entire state of Washington this turn. We're going to retake northern Idaho, and we're going to move into Montana, hopefully. So, battle plan in the north is looking pretty good. I'm going to hit next turn. Hopefully the Soviets don't really have anything here. I don't think they will, but you never know. So far, though, it looks like... Whoa, they had a lot right there. So far, it looks like the Soviets are defenseless in this area, which that is good, because if they are defenseless, we can walk right across. Apparently, they have quite a bit here in Canada. They had a lot here in Washington, though, also, so... Not sure if that was just, you know, random or what the deal was, but they did have quite a bit. It was kind of weird. So next we're going to move into Great Falls, Sweetgrass, and Miles City. So that's our next targets, I guess. Send all this up to Sweetgrass, I think, because we don't know what we're going to be dealing with there. Send all that there. Send this over here into Rapid City. And then we're going to send this 1,000 stack here and send this 900 stack here. And I think that will officially unite the northern border from what we should have owned already. So we've already retaken pretty much all of our land that we're supposed to own in real life. After that, we can go into Anchorage and we can go into all these small cities. And then I also want to have more troops being built up here. And we're going to send the reinforcements to kind of block off the Soviets. After that, we have to also worry about, I think, our southern flank now. In a couple of turns, they're going to start attacking us. So we're going to have to worry about that pretty soon. I think that war starts up next turn, if I'm not mistaken. The Soviets are trying their best to defend, but they're not going to win. And we have managed to push the Soviets back. So... that is good news. Now we can finally kick them out. We can take over this final little province here in Kodak, and we can move over here to Juneau and try to retake that land. Split this up, and let's take this over, and let's take our southern province over, or defend it at least, and then we're going to move this down here. I think Alaska's fine. I think it's not going to get taken at this point. As for the Canadians, they're definitely struggling against the Soviets. I'm kind of surprised how much they're struggling, but I'm hoping that they can, you know, start getting some wins against the Soviets, but we're going to have to focus on the more important front now, which is the Mexican front. I'm going to build some extra troops over here in these small provinces that we didn't reinforce that well, and I'm also going to try to get some extra troops up here in the north, and a little bit more over here maybe if we can. So we're going to try to take over San Diego, and we're going to try to make a push into Arizona if we can. I think we're going to be able to do this pretty easily, but I'm not sure. As for Pueblo, let's send in this 800 stack and this 1000 stack into Pueblo. Then after that we can send in this 1000 stack to take over Santa Rosa and Santa Fe. And then we should be good on this front. If not, I'll build some extra troops. As for our troops in Wichita and Lawrence, what we're going to do is we're going to send these down to Oklahoma City and Tulsa. And I think we're going to send this one first, then this one. As for this, then we can just start sending these 1000 stacks right into Texas. And I think this should be a pretty easy victory over here, but I'm not sure. It's going to take us a while, but hopefully Mexico also is a pretty simple conflict, but I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm going to try to get some more troops over here on the border, and we're going to try to defend it. because I don't really want to make a push into Canada unless I really have to. And the Canadian, or not the Canadians, the Russians are attacking from the north, but they are failing. Mexico's attacking from the south in certain spots, which, we kind of knew they were going to do that, and it's kind of annoying that they did, but, I mean, what are you going to do? Overall, I don't think Mexico is going to be that difficult, but I think they're going to be a lot harder than the Soviets were when we fought them. So Mexico is going to be tough. I also want to make sure if China is winning or not. I'm pretty sure China loses regardless. It looks like the Mongols are really hurting China, but China is defending okay-ish. They're not doing awful. Yes, the Soviets are pushing in from the north, but at the same time, China is not really, a northern country. They're more built in the south. So China is probably going to do all right. I don't think they're going to collapse that easily, hopefully. But we're just going to have to wait and see. I don't think we lost any of our... Okay, all of our ocean provinces are okay and safe. What about the UK? Do they need help? I think the UK is going to be fine. Hopefully. And we're going to send the 7,000 stack to retake Barstow, and we're going to build some more troops here in Los Angeles because we need anything. We're going to build some extra ones here in Kingman, and we're going to also try to build some up here. I really need just anything, to be completely honest, because we do not have enough troops at the moment to defend the border with Mexico, and it's kind of getting annoying. Do whatever we can over here. I think that's good enough. I want to make sure that we also take over Juneau, like I said. And let's just make sure we can get that territory. This 500 stack, let's split it up. We don't really need it that much. And the 3,000 stack, we can split this one up also. I'll send some extra over here. And actually, we can send them all over there. Send all that over there. And let's send this 2,000 stack and 1,000 stack over here. The 2,000 stack down into Dallas, and then we can send this over here. This 3,000 stack, and we can send this one down into Waco, and we can send it over here into Newcastle. Or Navasota, or however you pronounce that. Okay. So far, so good against Mexico. They are pushing into Utah, which is really annoying, but I can't really deal with that right now. I'm going to build a lot of troops here in Las Vegas and try to block them all off the best I can, but there's really not too much I can do. Hopefully this can, slow them down, I guess. I don't know. As for the California front, it looks like we're finally going to get some victories over here, which is, about time. It's been taking a while. Send down these troops. We're starting to see a pretty weak front here in New Mexico, and I'm kind of scared about that. So I'm going to send this 2,000 stack in that direction. We're going to try to reinforce that front because it does look kind of weak at the moment. So as for these big stacks, they might go help that front as well. Take Houston over. With this 3,000 stack, let's split it up and improve these two provinces. Try to make them a little bit stronger on the front. And everything else looks fine. I don't think Mexico is going to be that big of a problem after that. Also got to worry about Cuba. I forgot they existed, but I mean, Cuba is technically at war with us as well. I mean, it's kind of surprising that we're at war with this many countries and winning, but we do have to deal with Cuba as well. We're going to build a big, navy down here. Probably go into Cuba if we can. Or maybe we can send them into Mexico, perhaps, from this side. And then we're also at war with all these countries because they're all part of Russia's alliance in the movie. So what we're going to have to do, we have a lot of battles. And, I don't know what we're going to do, but I think we'll be fine. Send all the troops to the south. Mexico is winning in New Mexico like we thought they would. But we did push them back a little bit. Hopefully we can get rid of them in Utah, because Utah is obviously, kind of a front we don't want them in at all. I think we'll be able to push them out pretty easily in Utah. Then after that, we can send this troop over here to reinforce that front. Let's send the 1,000 stack over here and try to just completely take over Arizona this turn. I'm going to be risky, like I said. I want to just take over this whole state this turn so we don't have to deal with this state anymore. I'm pretty sure this will work out fine. Probably not, but you never know. Send the 2,000 stack that way, and we're going to also try to take over all of New Mexico this turn, except for this. This 200 stack, send it into El Paso. Send this down south. This 4,000 stack might need some extra troops over here, so let's do that. Send them over here. Send the 3,000 stack to Dallas, and then we're going to send all this across the border as is. This should be the pretty big victory right here that we've been waiting for. As for our Navy, let's prepare the Navy to invade Cuba. I think we're going to go after Cuba first. And the Soviets are still attacking over Canada, so I might have to invade the Soviets through Canada because I don't want them to be there anymore. And they are starting to, get a little scary, so I want to make sure that we do not lose to the Soviets in Canada. I'm going to probably help the Canadians finish them off. We might need a Navy port here to retake these islands, so I'm going to, try to build a pretty big Navy here, hopefully. All these troops will go take over Victoria Island, I think it's called, is it not? Yeah, I think it's called Victoria Island, and then I'll take over Mesette over here. So that is the plan. As for this front over here, we're going to try to ship the troops over a little bit more in this direction to kind of defend the border. And then we're also going to ship this 2,000 stack up north, and hopefully this can disturb the Soviets and, kind of push them out of the region. Kick them out of Vancouver. I mean, Vancouver's their biggest city, so, helping out the Canadians take over this last little area down here, I think the Canadians will have a pretty easy time finishing them off if we help them out. As for the failed southern border attack, or at least the slow southern border attack, what we're going to have to do against Mexico is we're going to have to play it smart, and we're going to have to send all 5,000 of this into here. This 200 stack needs reinforcements, and I'm going to have to send these down here first. I think, I don't know how we're going to send troops over in this region, because we're so far away from the border. Maybe we can send over this 2,000 stack to this front. Send this 1,000 stack down south. Send this to Tijuana and take that over, and then we'll send this down here. And we'll take over all the rest of this as well. So I'm trying to, finish them off and retake all my land. I think this turn we should have all of New Mexico under our control. And pretty soon the goal is to retake all of Texas. If we can take all of Texas back, I'll be happy. And that's kind of all we really need at the moment, is just all of Texas back. And let's try our best to retake Texas. We'll split this up, try our best. We might be able to take it next couple turns. As for Cuba, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just rush right into their capital, because why not? And then we're going to build extra troops over here and resupply the area. We actually managed to take Cuba's capital somehow. I'm not really sure how I managed to do that, but I mean, I'll take it. We're going to have to reinforce this area a lot if we're going to actually be able to defend it. We could also defend it from Puerto Rico. I just realized that. I think we're going to try to take over all of Texas this turn. Hopefully it works out well. I'm not sure. We really need troops on the Texan front. Maybe we can actually, build a port over here, and then we can reinforce. I guess we can do that also. I'm going to try to send these reinforcements down here. As for the front over here, which is taking forever to actually get troops to, we're going to combine all the troops here. We're also going to build some extra ones. And hopefully we'll send that to the south pretty quickly. This 1,700 stack, we can send that over here. And we can send this 1,000 stack down here. The 3,000 stack is going to help a lot, because now we actually can defend stuff. And this 1,000 stack is also going to help a lot because we can defend that. So we have a lot of defenses coming, and apparently they're all attacking us still, but we'll keep a couple troops there in Tijuana. We'll send about, I don't know, that much troops. Then they can still defend themselves, and we can take over Baja, California, and yeah, overall things are going pretty well. The Soviets in the north, I forgot this front existed, but let's help out the Canadians and finish them off. We're just gonna, kind of walk across to help the. Gonna have to build our navy, like I said. As for this, send that north, send this north, finish them off. That's the goal. And then we should be able to also help. Who's this? That's Canada. We should also be able to help out the Chinese before they fully collapse. I want to help out China the most I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably build a port here in Guam, and we're going to try to ship out as many troops as we can to China to try to help them out, because I know that they are going to be struggling. And I'm not sure who this is. Is that Vietnam? Are we at war with Vietnam? I don't think we are, even though we probably should be technically. But in the movie, they're not at war with Vietnam. So I'm going to increase the military here in Guam, and we're going to invade China and try to save them from the Soviets. What happened to all of our troops in Tijuana? They all just died, apparently. Oh well, ship 1,000 over there, because apparently they are still attacking us there in Tijuana for whatever reason. Ship this 2,000 stack to the south, this 1,000 stack to the south, the 4,000 stack to the south, the 1,000, the 2,000, you get the point. We got a lot of troops, and I think slowly but surely we should be able to finally, push them out of all of our land completely. We already did, actually. So now all we need to do is we need to reinforce our Texan front, and then we should be good to push all the way to Mexico City, from what I believe at least. So let's even go over here, split them up here at whatever this city is, and then after that we can send in backup into Cuba, hopefully, and finish off the Cubans. We'll also send backup from Puerto Rico into Cuba, and hopefully we can take over Santiago. Overall, things are going pretty good for us, I think. I mean, we are winning, so we've kicked them out of our mainland, and we're pushing them back. Things are going a lot better than they could have, so we're also going to send 3,000 to both of these islands, maybe, and we'll try to just take this one out with 1,000, I guess. This one is going to be harder to take, I think, so after this turn, we should have kicked the Soviets out, from what I believe. Over here in Guam, we have all of our 1,000 troops. That's not really that much, but hopefully, we can make a difference with this small stack of troops. We're going to try to take over maybe... Should we take over Hong Kong and Macau? I think we're going to try to take over Hong Kong. It's going to be kind of evil, but if we can actually take over Hong Kong, then we can actually, have an actual place to build troops within China itself, and, kind of help out in the war effort. So I do want to kind of help out China the best I can, and I think taking over Hong Kong militarily is one of our best bets to help China out, if we're going to be able to actually push back the Soviets, because otherwise China is going to collapse, because they do not have enough land out here to defend themselves against, all of this. So I'm going to try my best with that. Over here even, I guess I can kind of help, but I guess we don't really have any provinces we can build from, because, Alaska is technically being, invaded. We don't own the land, so, because the Soviets took it. But what we're going to do, we're going to send this 5,000 stack to the south. We're going to try our best to defend the borders, and let's just see how that goes. So this turn, it was a bad one. A lot of failures on this turn, which is kind of sad, but we lost a lot, and it's going to be a hit to our country. What we need to do is we need to hopefully, push them out of this area in Texas. They really hurt us bad here. Over here, they definitely beat us. We got to push backwards. So try to send 2,000 stack over here to kind of help defend this area. We lost a lot on this turn. We really did. This is a bad turn. Let's try to push a little bit south over here, I guess, to try to make up for it. Try to take over this final province here. And we'll send the 5,000 stack to this front as quickly as possible. We're going to need even more from over here now. Hopefully that 5,000 stack can help us out. As for Cuba, we're going to try to finish them off pretty soon, and then we can reinforce our Mexican front, hopefully. This should be a pretty simple victory pretty soon in Cuba, so I'm pretty hyped to get this war over with. And as for everything else, we're going to also build another new front over here in southern Mexico, and we're going to try to take down some of these weaker countries also. Hopefully we can slow down Mexico and try to, get to that capital so we can, finish them off. But it is a tough war, and I'm not sure what we're going to do. Obviously, we also have to take over Vancouver Island still, so I'm going to rebuild the military, and we're going to, try it for part 2 to try to retake this island for Canada. And it's going to be tough because we're going to need a lot of troops, so I'm just going to build a ton. As for our front that we're going to build with China, what we're going to do is we're going to also send all this out into the ocean, and we're going to try to build a pretty big navy as quickly as I can. After I have this navy built up in this province, I'm going to send them over to China, like I said. See, this is what I didn't want to happen, because they're gonna send all that across the entire border, and it's not gonna be good. But at least things are going good in Cuba. I can't deny that. Cuba is going really good for some reason. And we're actually pushing them completely out of Cuba a lot easier than I thought we would. Usually these naval invasions go awful, but it's going really good against Cuba for some reason. Let's, try to send that 2,000 stack this direction. The 3,000 stack will send in that direction, and we'll build extra troops just in case. I might want to defend this border because I think they're definitely coming in this direction, and I think if we do not defend, we're going to lose a lot. So I want to try to defend as much as we can. Try to even send this to the north. Maybe we should actually push back. Let's push back the troops in that area. So also we're going to build a port here, and we're going to do another risky attack by in the next couple of turns. We're going to send them across the little ocean here, and we're going to invade western Mexico to kind of get our revenge a little bit. As for this 3,000 stack, send them to the province over here. This 1,000 stack, send them over here as well. Then we should be able to, start making a push to Mexico City, hopefully. As for this, we never moved all these troops. Let's send all them down here. We're going to send them across the Gulf of Mexico. Our navy over here, we have to finish this off. Let's just send all the troops into the big cities, and then we'll send them all into the ocean next turn. But as for this over here, we're going to combine this little navy, and then we'll send them over to China. Overall, I think this turn's going to be okay, hopefully, but I'm not sure. I think they're definitely going to push this back quite a bit. Things are going pretty good on the southern front. As for Vancouver Island, we're going to try to finish them off right here. Hopefully this all works, and we can take the island over. As for the Chinese front that we wanted to build up, we're going to send all this troops over to China. We're going to invade Hong Kong and possibly even this city, and we're going to then push the troops through China and, try to reinforce them. Maybe we should actually go around, Yeah, I think going around to be a little bit quicker than, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. We're going to go around through the ocean, I think. Actually, I wonder if the Guam is quicker already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From Hong Kong, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's actually the same amount from Guam. So, well, what about the southern province of Guam? Because obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So Hong Kong is faster, barely, but maybe we should take over Taiwan. No, that'd be a failure. We don't have enough troops out here to take over Taiwan. But I wish we did. So we're going to take over Hong Kong, and we're going to have a 5 turn, invasion strategy type stuff. I don't know. The Chinese front, it's kind of a lost cause. Let's be realistic here. I'm just trying my best to defend it. But Texas, we got to try to retake this, even though we don't have many troops in that area. And we're winning in Cuba as well. So let's hope we can wrap all that up as quickly as possible. Unless, that happens, and that'd be great. It actually wasn't that bad. We actually pushed them back quite a bit in Mexico. We're going to build a port here, and we're going to then send this 15,000 stack to Mexico. This is going to be big right here. I actually think that what we're doing right here is going to really impact the war. We have a lot of troops, and it looks like we're going to be able to do quite a bit of damage over here. With this and the 15,000 stack, we should be able to open up a brand new front to this war. And it's definitely going to slow down Mexico, and it's going to really help us out in terms of like defeating them. So that is good news in general. We're going to send all these troops to the south. Hopefully that works well, and that is the plan currently. Send these across the water over here, and then we'll take over Durango. We'll take over, I don't know, whatever this city is. We'll take over all these small little cities right here. I don't think that'll be that difficult. The 2,000 stack, split it up. Let's finish off these two provinces. Send this 800 stack into the 500 stack. And things are looking a lot better. If we can win on this front entirely, that'd be great. And then next couple turns, we should be able to send this into the water. The goal now is to finish off the conflict here in Texas, and then we'll move south into Reynosa, and then after that, send them all down here into this city. This will be a pretty big front opener right here, because then we can start, really pushing toward Mexico City. This 2,000 stack, send them south, send this south, send this across, just keep on sending the troops across. Maybe not that one, not yet. As for this, let's combine this, and we're also going to build a port in Houston. And then we'll send over this 1,000 stack, I don't know. Maybe we should send the 1,500 stack, or the 15,000 stack, to Mexico City, because what I'm currently seeing is that this was a failed attack. We lost a lot of troops here, and it really wasn't worth it. Maybe we can slow them down a little bit, but this was a lot of troops that just died off for nothing. They had a lot of stuff defending here for some reason, so we lost a lot of troops in that battle, and that kind of hit us pretty hard. Let's do whatever we can here. As for this front, we're going to send them all into this, and then we'll hopefully take over Victoria Island. As for our troops over here by Guam, we're going to send them over here. Maybe we should just send them right to the Chinese front, because China definitely needs some help right now. They have like nothing on their border at all, which is really stupid of them, but they don't have anything, except for this massive 20,000 stack for some reason. Let's build a big troop stack here. This is going to really impact the war quite a bit. Hopefully, at least. And let's see how that goes. We're just not going to do anything this turn. It's going to be a peaceful turn where we kind of just review what happens and see the damages of what happens also. So we're going to also split this up, and hopefully we can win, but I doubt it. And then we'll send this into the Gulf of Mexico. As for our stuff in Guam, as I said, we might go for Hong Kong, but now I'm kind of regretting the decision. Let's just go into China and help them out, because they really need help. So I'm going to end this turn. Hopefully it goes well, but I'm not sure. I think Mexico's going to push us back over there in that area, but I don't know. They're probably going to win again in this area, so I'm not really expecting a victory there. As for the 1,000 stack, they're attacking here, which is fine. The 100 stack's going this way, so I guess we can let them do whatever. And now we can send in the real military from the north. This is where the battle gets interesting. This could really be the turning point, I think, of the war. If we can, you know, defend our land for the most part and slow them down. We're also going to go into Guatemala even, because I'm kind of, oh, I don't know. I want a little small revenge on Guatemala, the smallest we can get, because I'm kind of, you know, tired of Guatemala trying to pick on us. So this, we can't move any of these troops. Let's just keep them there. As I said, this is the turning point in the war. We're finally going to be able to push back Mexico and Guatemala and really, you know, show who's boss. And we got 20,000 troops over here. This is going to be huge. We can literally defend this entire thing if we wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to send every single one of them right here into this place. And then once we have that, we can send all of these over here. We can even start to push these troops forward if we want to, which we will. And we're going to send these small stacks this way, which I know these stacks are really our weak point, but I'm hoping that we can defend long enough to reinforce that area with this big stack we're building. As for this, I'm trying to hope that we can push Mexico out of here. Maybe we can even redefend it. I think that'd be a good idea. Let's send reinforcements to that area, because I thought it was a dead front, but it really might be a good front to attack from. Not to mention we are getting some wins over here, so we're going to try to do that. I think that might go good, but I'm not sure. As for Victoria Island, we finally pushed them out, and our Guam troops over here are finally going to be able to help out China and invade Mongolia or whatever. So we're going to finally be able to push out Mongolia from China, hopefully. Maybe not, I'm not sure. But let's hope that goes well, and let's see what happens. Apparently they are attacking, so we got to defend this area. Let's, you know, try our best to defend this border. We're going to start running into some real problems. They got an 1,000 stack here and another 1,000 stack, and we just don't have the troops to defend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to literally prepare to build a massive army, and we're going to do something a little bit risky and different. We're going to send that army into the ocean to defend, because apparently we can't defend it otherwise, because we have no defenses at all. We're going to defend this ocean. That's the main goal right now. I want all the troops to be in this little ocean, so then we don't even have to defend these provinces. I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place, but whatever. As for this over here, we're going to reinforce this province, and we're going to send the 5,000 stack to the south. You know, kind of split it up the best we can. We're going to split this up quite a bit as well. We're going to send a majority of the troops into this place, and then we're going to send, I don't know, 3,000 this way. This one, we're going to split this up quite a bit as well. Hopefully we can push out Mexico, like I said, but I'm not sure. Send the 600 stack over here. Let's kind of just defend that for now as we prepare to send over reinforcements to that area. We have a really weak front on this front. Could we actually send stuff from Hawaii? Would it be realistic to send stuff all the way from Hawaii to that front? I'm not sure. Or would it be... It'd probably be quicker to do it from LA. Let's do it from here, actually. I'm going to build a lot of extra troops to send to the front from California. We're going to build a lot, too. And by a lot, I mean a lot. So, hopefully, you know, this goes well. We're going to build a lot of ports. You know, anything we can do to really try to help that front out the best we can. Even let's build a port here, too. If we had ports across all of California, just imagine how many troops we could actually send over there. Not sure why I didn't do that from the start. As for this troop in Guam, or it's not even in Guam anymore, it's in China, but you know what I mean. We're going to send them into this area, try to push back Mongolia, and that's probably going to be the end of the turn. We're going to take a lot of damages, I think, this turn, so hoping for the best, but you never know. Actually, we won. Would you look at that? We actually won in this area. I thought this was a failed front, I really did. But now that we're starting to actually push them back and reinforce that area, it's looking like it might be one of our stronger fronts, which is kind of funny. I'm kind of surprised how we've actually managed to do so much with that little baby front we have here. So we're going to reinforce these provinces the best we can, and hopefully we can defend them from Mexico as long as we can as well. As for all this is a scary sight indeed. I don't know what we're going to do here. Probably going to have to send in, you know, backup. I don't know. Let's send all of these troops back. As for this, they're going to attack both of these provinces. We can split this up and defend barely. And then we can reinforce this province, reinforce these provinces barely. And then we can send this down south. I hope this works. I don't really know if it will or not. Let's take Mexico City. Let's finish that off already. We should have taken Mexico City a long time ago. Take over Mexico City, and then we'll send this 3,000 stack and split it up. That looks pretty good. Over here in Guam or China, we're going to, you know, keep on trying to, you know, push out the Mongols and kind of defend China. I don't know. It's probably not going to do too much. Hopefully we can defend, as I said, this area, but I'm not sure. And let's build some reinforcements here. And let's also send all of our reinforcements we had over here to the new front, which we have. So this is going to make a massive impact, I think, personally. And I'm kind of surprised that we didn't do this earlier. This is going to be huge for the war. Send this 900 stack here because we don't really need it over here. Okay, let's see what happens. I don't know. Maybe it goes bad, maybe it goes good. I'm not really sure. Probably won't be that big of a deal regardless. We did take Mexico City, though. That is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And Guatemala can't even attack us, though. It's like we can completely wipe this area off the map. What's this? That's Canada. Send this 5,000 stack over here, maybe. Should we send it this way, or should we send it through here? I'm not sure. If we send it here, we can slow down this entire front, and then we can send all this into Guatemala, if you know what I mean, and that'd be epic, but I'm not sure if that'd be realistic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it over here, and we're going to try to invade through this area, you know, slow down Guatemala. And the real goal is just to slow down all these little countries, because they are hitting us pretty hard, believe it or not, and it is slowing us down quite a bit. But I think we're going to be able to reinforce these provinces over here, hopefully. And after we do that, we should be able to actually damage Mexico quite a bit. Or maybe not, because we don't really have that much over here. Send all that to slow down Mexico. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just hoping all this works, to be completely honest. We don't have that much in the front anymore. So let's reinforce that front, and we're even going to try to reinforce Mexico once again from Florida. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just trying to hope it works, and let's see what happens. As for China, we're going to try to slow down the Mongol Empire the most we can. The main goal is just to, kind of send the troops all over the place and kind of, weaken them. If we can slow down the Mongols, I'd be happy, because then we can, rebuild China, and then China can, help us win against the Soviets. So if that all happens, then we should be in a pretty good spot. How's the UK doing? The UK is doing absolutely fine. The Soviets, on the other hand, they are winning, but they are starting to get pushed back quite a bit. They're at 9% in our favor, and could we actually end the war? What would we get? I'm not sure. What would they get? Nothing. I want to see what we get first. We have the most war score out of all the countries, so let's say we wanted to retake all of America. What would we get? All this is destroyed. Pueblo, let's take over all this. Go into Texas and retake that. Can we win all of this land over? I'm not sure. If I can get all this, I'd be pretty happy. Not to mention, though, I also want all of Alaska under our control again. So I'm going to do something like this. I don't know. If we can get all this, I'll be happy and I'll end the war. For real. What do they get? They get nothing. So I think, if I get all this, I'm happy with the war being over. We'd get so much, and we'd be able to really do quite a bit. See if they'll accept that. They probably won't. But if they accept that and end the war, I'll be really happy. Overall, though, I think we're going to see if they accept that or not. And then we're going to do a part 2 of this video after this. They did accept. So would you guys like to see a part 2 of the Red Dawn scenario? Technically, we won the war. So, I mean, it could be, like, negotiated that we already, kind of won. We pushed back the Soviets, but then again, the Soviets are still here in, this area. And, I don't know. I think we won for the most part. We definitely pushed back everybody, and we definitely, proved that America is pretty powerful. Everybody survived, and I think there's not really a reason to do a part 2 because we're already stronger than the Soviets. So, I don't know. Tell me your thoughts. Do you want part 2? And I'll see you all for the next one. Peace.